The time is 7 p.m. The date is March 3rd, and I'm going to call the city council meeting to order. We'll now stand for the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Denise, can I have you do roll call, please?
Yes. Mayor Gillen.
Present.
Thank you. Councilor Foreman. Present. Councilor Gonzalez.
Present.
Council President Wagner.
Please excuse me.
Councilor Barge. Present. Councilor Harvey.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Denise. Welcome, everybody. Got quite a full house. Mayor Gillen, thanks for coming. We're gonna have, let's see, is there any announcements and or additions tonight from anybody? Nobody? We're gonna move right into swearing in Officer Tim West as our new lieutenant. Any paperwork? This is new for me, signing them.
Same.
Hi. Okay, I'll have you raise your right hand, sir. I, Timothy West,
I, Timothy West,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution and laws of the state of Oregon,
the Constitution and laws of the state of Oregon,
the laws and ordinances of the city of Jervis,
the laws and ordinances of the city of Jervis,
and the rules and regulations of the Jervis Police Department,
and the rules and regulations of the Jervis Police Department,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties of the office to which I have been appointed
discharge the duties of the office to which I have been appointed
in and for the city of Jervis,
in and for the city of Jervis,
according to law and to the best of my ability.
according to law and to the best of my ability.
I'm gonna have you sign with me. Okay, and then Tim, do you have a copy of this? Okay. Now Tim will read our criminal justice code of ethics, and you can turn around and face that if you
Yeah.
like.
Hello, thank you all for coming. As a criminal justice officer, my fundamental duty is to serve humankind, to safeguard lives and property, to protect all persons against deception, the weak against oppression or intimidation, and the peaceful against violence or disorder, and to respect the constitutional rights of all people to liberty, equality, and justice. I will keep my private life unsullied as an example to all, maintain courageous, calm in the face of danger, scorn, or ridicule, develop self-restraint, and be constantly mindful of the welfare of others. Honest in the thought and deed in both my personal and official life, I'll be exemplary in obeying the laws of the land and the regulations of my department. Whatever I see or hear of a confidential nature, and that is confided to me in my official capacity, will be kept ever secret unless revelation is necessary in the performance of my duty. I will never act officially or permit personal feelings, prejudice, and animosities or friendships to influence my decisions. Without compromise and without relentlessness, and with relentlessness, I will uphold the laws affecting the duties of my profession courteously and appropriately without fear or favor, malice or ill will, never employing unnecessary force or violence, and never accepting gratuities. I recognize my position as a symbol of public faith, and I accept it as a public trust to be held so long as I am true to the ethics of the criminal justice system. I will constantly strive to achieve these objectives and ideals, dedicating myself before God to my chosen profession.
Well, they're saying, signing that, his family's here and his wife Laura's here. And she's gonna pin on his badge, but just give you a little background about Tim, why he's signing that is he's got over 20 years of experience. He came to us last year. I never knew that when we sponsored the DARE officer training course a couple of years ago that the Durham Police Department did. Officer West from Coos Bay was one of those officers. And it just worked out to where circumstances in his family's life was bringing him up to our area. And so he asked if we still had an opening, and at that time we did. And so we ended up hiring him. And his first DARE course that he taught after graduating was supposed to be at Coos Bay, but fortunately we got him before that. And he actually successfully graduated his first DARE officer school this year in 2022. And so he's done a remarkable job. He's been acting as our student success officer and kind of doing a couple of double duties, lieutenant, student success officer. And what I really appreciate about Tim, he's good natured, he's got some good humor, but he just cares about people. And just a short story is one of the things that probably most people don't know, and he probably wouldn't want me to say, is one time a kid was having a little trouble at school and scared to go home. And Tim's the kind of guy, I call him Tim, but Lieutenant's the kind of guy, he actually walked the child home from school to make sure he got it safe and made him feel very comfortable. And so he just got a heart of gold, a good soul, and a servant-oriented spirit about him, and very easygoing. And we appreciate it. We're blessed to have somebody with his tenure here, and he's just doing a remarkable job. So welcome aboard. And Laura, would you come on up and get the badge from the mayor and pin it on Lieutenant West?
Where there's witnesses.
Yeah, and Laura, you can give him our permission to stick him if you want. Yeah.
That's why I'm wearing my vest.
There we go.
Thank you for sharing them with us, Laura.
Yeah. Good man.
Right. All right, thank you.
You want me to just come around? You want me to come down that side, or?
Yeah, come on over back here with me. There we go.
I gotta get the flag in there. All right, 1, 2, 3. Excellent. Thank you so much.
Okay, the fun begins. Welcome to everybody else that just came in. Hey, we're gonna move on to public comment. It is limited to 3 minutes per person with an optional 2 minutes for council question and answer. If you wish to address council, please come forward to the podium and identify yourself for the record. You need to state your address, like I said, so that Denise can record you. We are paying attention. We just sometimes get back to you and we'll try to point you in the right direction for your house. Is there anybody that would like to have public comment come forward? Rocky?
Well, my name is Rocky Sherwood. I live at 2622 Nina Place, Hubbard, Oregon. Well, we have a few things going on. We're bringing the Easter egg hunt back to Barnsley Park. Hubbard Chevrolet's putting it on.
So, Rocky, that being said, I seen one notice for that, but then it said it was canceled. Is it on or is it canceled?
I believe it's still on. I didn't know they canceled it, but I will talk to Lance Berkey to find out.
Okay, and then can you post that on my page?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
The other thing is, I'm looking at, I've been doing the walk and jog lately, and we've been getting a lot of young kids coming out to with their parents. So my goal, my next mission is to do a community youth group, you know, like for non-churchy people. And to give the kids something to do that won't cost them any money or their family. So I'm doing it between Hubbard and Jervis. So I'll post as much as I get coming to me. I have a pastor that just came on with me, so I will be making more announcements. But my job is I want Jervis to remain community strong. I want Hubbard to be community strong. And I want to teach people wherever community I am at that we need to stand together as one, and we need to fight together instead against each other. So that's what my mission is for both communities, and hopefully everybody comes together and gets on board with that.
Well, thank you, Rocky. We appreciate your time.
I just wanted to say that there was a posting on on our city page that there was a community member out that there was any youth activities. So I was just gonna say that that's timely, to have something, I know they were directed to, Salem for basketball, I think, but still, it'd be nice. It's just timely for us for something for the youth of both communities.
Most definitely. I jumped on the North Marion Youth Athletics, and they didn't have a soccer coach, so I jumped in and coached 2nd through 4th grade soccer. So feel free to have them check out North Marion Youth Athletics. They got a good athletic program over there, and if they don't have a good program, I'll kick them in the butt. If you guys have any bad experiences with them, you got my word.
Well, thank you, Rocky. Anybody else got anything for Rocky? Okay, thanks for coming. Anybody else for public comment?
My name is Laura Clifton, 1065 6th Street. Last meeting, we talked about a water bill raise of 6.6%, and it references some resolutions, and I started looking into it and kind of concerned that I thought I heard in the council that meaning that it was going to go to year 2023, 25, something like that. The increase happen is actually 2035. The year 2035 is what the resolution says. And it says 2.75%, and it references a obsolete Portland Consumer Index, which is now the Business Bureau of Labor Industry. It's all in the resolution. Well, that in the Portland Consumer Index that it references in the resolution is obsolete. It was obsolete in 2018. Your resolution took effect in 2020. It was signed in 2019. So I don't know if that needs to be updated to be something more current. And then the prices on the website list the 2020 updates in English, and in Spanish it lists 2019 rates. So it makes me think that there's two different rates going on there, and the increase that just happened isn't even on the website. So it's out of date.
On our city website?
On your city website, underneath utilities. Well, I don't know if there's anything we can do, but it's kind of misleading.
I want to talk more with you about that.
Okay.
We'll have to visit that. Anybody got anything?
No, I know that the website is part of what it's on the process to be taken care of, but I think that's an easy enough update that we can get up there, right?
It's not valid or current. It shouldn't just put a work in progress, but keep it down.
Yeah, Ms. Clifton, I appreciate you bringing that to our attention. We'll get it updated on the
There's a lot of, look at all your other documents on there too, because the backlog.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in. Anybody else for public comment? Anybody in Zoom land that comment? No, this is our protocol, but hi, Mom. Okay, so not hearing any others, we'll go ahead and move on. Any public comment to our consent calendar? Which is the approval of the minutes of the January 2022 work session, approval of the minutes of the February 3rd, 2022 regular session, and C, approval of the bill list for January 27th through February 24th, 22. Is there any discussion or is there to requested action? I think you had asked for an amendment, John. Were you satisfied with?
Yeah, I did get it changed. And these changes, and put the information that was left out into the minute. I have it right here.
Okay, is there any-
Yep, I got it.
is there anything else on your minutes or so can we move to request an action for a motion to approve the March 3rd, 2022 consent calendar as presented?
I'll make a motion to approve the March 3rd, 2022 consent calendar as presented.
Okay, any more discussion? Okay, so you ready for the question? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. The ayes have it and the motion carries. Now we'll move on to the committee reports, ad hoc skate park, 4th of July. Ms. Clifton is our chair.
And we had a meeting. Can you pull the mic down a little bit? We had a meeting and I wrote the minutes. They're in the packet. I don't know if anybody had any questions. But we met for skate park and we met for the 4th of July.
You want to give our people any kind of details or anything?
For the skate park, we're planning a basketball tournament. 3-on-3 basketball tournament, hopefully to have it in August sometime. And for the 4th of July, we're hoping to have some games for the kids, maybe put together a parade. A salsa contest was mentioned instead of a chili contest this year. And maybe a quilting group in town that can have stuff on display. And I believe I heard that Erica said there was a local gentleman who performs at parties and she reached out to him and she gave me a call back earlier this month to say that he agreed to come in.
Erica, do you want to step up and give us a minute on that? This is Erica Ramon. She is our vice chair of the committee.
So there's a family, 7th Street, and the dad. He's the one that, that's kind of like a part-time job. So he sings in parties and family.
And what?
Sings. And he has like a little animal, I don't know what he does, but I talked to him and he's willing to come and sing for us for an hour.
Is he's getting volunteers?
Yes.
Right? That's
Yes.
really nice. Erica. Thank you.
And also his daughter sings, so she was willing to sing too. It's all volunteer.
Did I hear something about dancers too?
Yes. Águilas de Oro.
What is it?
Águilas de Oro.
Oh, okay.
It's
The
the
group they
Mexican
did, the
dance.
Christmas- the high school for
Yes.
Christmas. Yeah, they were wonderful.
Yeah, they're also they're gonna perform.
Will they be volunteering as
Yeah.
well? Nice. Thank you for reaching out to me. I appreciate it. Council, do you have any questions for the ad hoc committee?
I have a question
First,
or question slash comment. I noticed in the report on the, 3-on-3 basketball tournament, there was concern about heat, which I think is really legitimate for late August. What about trying to see if we can get any, businesses to donate maybe some large swamp fans or something and get some kind of like misty cool air going onto the court for to help with that, because I think late August heat is definitely a
Oh, yeah, that's
legitimate
definitely a
concern.
heater,
Yeah.
isn't it? Laura, would you like to comment about?
I'm going back to.
Yes.
I'm going back to the committee with some alternate venues and moving the date.
And that moving the date is because the hoopla has moved.
Yes. And the hoopla has changed to July, so we can move it in August earlier.
And moving the venue is because the city has become too expensive to have a fundraiser, right?
There's been a lot of costs that has raised that we weren't expecting, so
Okay, so are you checking alternates?
I am. There's 2 other alternates I looked into, so we'll vote on it on our next meeting on Tuesday.
Okay, then you'll bring it back to us.
I'll bring it back.
Thank you. All right, anybody else? Nope. Okay, Chief Budge, come on down. Hi.
Hi, Joe Budge, Chief of the Woodburn Fire District, Mayor Gilland and councilors. We've been talking about making a joint application to Marion County for the joint funding of our fire station here in Jervis. I was informed after the February meeting that all that ARPA money is now gone. It was all distributed to the first round applicants, and that was open to invitation only. So we're looking for other funding sources. We do have some money with our bond that the city of Jervis was part of, and all the residents here were part of. The fire district is committed to having a fire station here, and we're still working on that. So I've been meeting with the city staff, and we're looking at some options, but and I'll keep you all updated as that moves forward.
Well, I appreciate you coming in to get, sorry about the ground.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you.
You can get another one.
Thanks.
Moving along. Thanks, Chief. Anybody have anything? Okay.
I just,
Oh, go ahead.
I don't know that it actually fits here, but I thought that the memorial for the fallen firefighter was really excellent. And I think the community really turned out strong for that. So I personally stood there for, I don't know how long it was for everybody to go professionally by.
Yeah.
So I think our community really did a good job of coming out and helping recognize that significant loss.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief.
Yeah.
I was gonna comment, but I was like, oh, I don't have to ask, but that was nice. You know, the family really appreciated the people that came out. Okay, so now we're gonna move to old business. A is council rules draft update. Number 9, actually. Oh, I'm sorry. Ratify donation to St. Paul Fire District. Do I just need a motion for that? Okay, can I get a motion to ratify the donation to St. Paul Fire District?
I move to ratify $100 donation to St. Paul Fire District paid by check on February 9th, 2022.
Second, okay, are you ready for the question? All in favor, say aye. Ayes, all opposed, say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries. Moving on to old business. A, council rules draft update. Don, you have the floor.
Yeah, at this time, since things didn't go the way it's planned, I would like to table that to a workshop. There's some things that were added into that, and I would think we need to talk about it. So I'd like to table that to a workshop session.
That's one reason we shouldn't, there wasn't satisfied with the protocol wasn't followed on that, so we'll need to talk about that, and then we can talk about the changes that,
Yeah, but anyway, I'd like to table that and further the conversation at a work session.
is anybody, are you guys okay with doing that? You okay with it? Table it? They, we suggested date for said workshop. Or do you want to just table it? When, John, you're the table, so I kind of gotta get a,
Like a date.
yeah, April is very full for me, I'm going through a lot this month, but I do want to get it done.
Yes, it does need to get done.
Yeah, so I have April 9th, 23rd, and then the cleanup is on what day? April 30th. April 30th. So I have those weeks. I have 2 auctions and then the cleanup. But if you want to try to fit it in there or at the end of this month somewhere, anybody? I got spring break, my son coming home, but I will get this in.
Open to many options.
Are you going anywhere for spring break?
No.
Um, no, I can't get that.
How about we make it the,
Well, so the third Thursday of March would be the 17th, which is not spring break. So we could do the fourth Thursday, which is the 24th,
The 24th?
the 24th of March. There's 5 Thursdays this month, so.
Yeah, I will not be available on that.
Okay, well,
Otherwise-
we all need to be here for that, so.
Otherwise, I'm available that other option.
what was the other one?
So the 17th is the third Thursday.
And there's a fifth
Yeah.
Thursday, you said?
There's a 5th Thursday as well,
Which day is that?
the 31st.
That would work best for me. I am going to a wedding on the 1st and 2nd in Washington, but did that work for you guys the 31st?
That's fine with the 31st.
Time.
The 31st is Thursday. 6:30, would that work for you guys?
Work for me.
6:30 on the 31st for a workshop?
Mayor, if I may say something, I would highly, strongly recommend that Bill Monahan be here to help facilitate that session. Noted that there was additions, and he did make a couple of additions to be consistent with best practices.
Yeah.
So those were his recommendations, and I would just strongly
Who is
encourage
SM?
you to have him here to facilitate.
Who is SM on here? I was reading the comments. Is that you, Susie Larson?
That's me.
Okay, and okay. So
I was trying to put notes in there that Bill.
I'm just asking for the reference. I think if we had followed the directive given by John to bring it back to draft, and had we been able to finish the social media thing, I think we were doing all right on our own. I don't think we need to pay somebody to come in and help us. I think we were doing just fine. As far as language, of course, we're going to send it to them once we're ready to, and that's why we're paying them to give us the proper language to the rules we want. That's not adopting like things from the LOC 2017, which is very dated, and I wasn't real impressed with that model. I seen some of his recommendations coming from that. Go ahead, John. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
just thinking.
that was the whole idea. If we would have done it the way it was asked to be done, we wouldn't be going through this right now. We would have already saw what was on the paperwork that you had sent in, and then we would have said, okay, and then we went in and come back.
I appreciate your recommendation, but I think we were doing really good. And I do believe that we needed the social media, but we had decided to table that. And, we can look at what's in there now, and maybe we can build on those recommendations that we're seeing. But it's a cost to the city. And I think that we're capable. I don't know. How do you guys feel? I think that we need to keep discussing it and put some stuff in, but to pay an attorney and pay these outside help all the time, it's getting costly.
And I agree, but that's the main point. Let's save the city of Jervis some money. And once we get done, we're gonna have to send it to the attorney anyway. So when he goes over, he's gonna send it back to us, and we're gonna probably okay. So I would like to just have a meeting where we can discuss what's in there right now, what was put in there, this paperwork. Just us, we don't need the attorney there to have us discuss it, and then after we get done, the attorney has his time with the paperwork, and he makes his suggestions to us.
Yeah, we went line by line, rule by rule. We decided which ones we wanted. The only one we hadn't decided was social media, and we tabled it because we were going to discuss it again before it went forward. Right? Isn't that the way it
Well,
was?
there was some wording that I think needs to be changed on a couple of things also. So that's why I say, let's take it back and do it that way, and we can do it on our own, and then we'll get the attorney involved after that.
That's what I want to do. Is everybody okay with that? I think we were doing really good, you guys. I think we went line by line. We decided,
No, that's fine with me.
these council rules are to govern ourselves, right?
I understand that you wanted to see them again before we sent them off to the attorney. I feel like if there's stuff that we had not yet discussed, then, or that we needed to make additional changes before we sent it off to the attorney, that's fine, but I feel like he's sent in a lot. There's a lot of stuff, I guess part of what I'm wondering is how many times are we going to talk about it and come up with lines, and then we eventually need to send it to him for the wording, and that's what he's sent back to us, so.
But Diana, there's add-ins in here we didn't even ask for. I did a comparison, and I mean, there's
Right,
changes in here we didn't. even
No, I
ask.
went through it as well, and I understand that there was some stuff that he added in.
I tell you what, I believe this is a very important document and it needs discussion. And that's where
Well,
I
it's
said,
10 times
we need more
discussion.
discussion. We need to make it right. So let's
For
take it
us.
back and talk it over and then send it
Okay,
in.
that's fine, we can,
It's very
talk
important.
about it.
No, I
document.
appreciate what you're saying,
Right.
Diana.
I'm just saying, so, but, we've got what he said. So I think I actually find it helpful that we now know what he has given us, so we have that to talk about.
Well, like I said,
Versus
we can,
coming
now
in
we
back.
can build off that, but no,
Right.
there's some of this I didn't even ask for, and neither did you. So we need to, understand
Right,
how
and well,
that
and we
got
can
there.
look at that and see,
That's something we need to
some of
talk
our
about
rules,
amongst
maybe we didn't
ourselves.
know that we needed it, so. But yeah, I'm fine with just going to a work
I
session
think
and
we're
talking
working
about it.
pretty good.
So.
Yeah.
I agree with Diana. My only concern is that we bring it back, we send it back, we bring it back, we send it back, we bring it back, we send it back. I think his effort to make it comprehensive may have been the part of including some things that we may or may not have asked for, but I think his objective and what we pay him for is to be comprehensive. So I don't mind having a work session. I don't mind talking about it again. I will mind if it's the 4th or 5th time we're doing it. Because it's nice to get it done, get it finalized, have it in the proper language, and be done with it, rather than continue to belabor it. So I don't have any problem, so bringing it back to a work session.
Okay,
Yeah,
we're agreed we can do that. Go ahead.
that was exactly the reason why I wanted to see the draft before it went to.
So we can finalize
Yes,
it.
exactly.
Finish that
I
social
wanted to see what it
media.
was. That was why to save that back and forth. Okay. That's all.
We'll go ahead with that work session. and then we've got stuff.
February.
So we need to make a motion to do that, Suzie, the work
I think
session?
so. Do I have to read up on that? I'm not sure how that
Because
works.
I know there was another one in here about it somewhere.
Always safer to make the motion than not.
Okay,
Go
so
ahead, Diana.
I moved to schedule a work session on March 31st at 6:30 PM
I
to
said,
discuss the city rules.
Okay.
nothing.
All right, and is there any more discussion? Not hearing any, are you ready for the question? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries. Next, we're gonna move to
Okay.
the 31st.
Like 30.
6:30. Okay, let's see. Oh, next is veterans law. And, Suzie, go ahead.
I think we're at 18B.
10B, activity tracker.
Oh, I'm
Or
sorry.
10B, sorry.
My bifocals, I got new ones, and I have to point my nose. That's why I'm missing it. B, C activity tracker. Did staff any updates on that? Because I was wondering about our ordinances, and it says in March, we are supposed to go over those. And I had talked to you, I was via email, and you said they'd be back in March. Did that change somehow, Suzie?
Yeah, the city attorney's office is short-staffed. They're missing one of their lead attorneys, and so their workload has been added to other staff there, so they're delayed on their work.
Okay, did he give you an estimate though? of when?
I don't know at this time.
If you get, I'd like to have that checked though, from them, get something, because I'm having calls from people who had presented clear back in October about wanting changes. Ms. Diaz has contacted me, the animal ordinances and everything that's happening, so I'd like to be able to give the people an answer. It's been since October. So, okay, thank you. Anybody else have anything on the tracker that they want to talk about?
I just really appreciate having it. You know, I think it's been a nice addition to the work that we've been doing, to be able to have something in one place, to look at it, and I appreciate the red, so that I'm aware that there's been actual updates. So I just think that it's great that we continue it.
And, I'll think of it later after the phone, so you can- Okay, so now, if my bifocals are not lying to me, we're gonna set a date. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I have a question on, it's number 9, and it says that Susie,
John,
that
I'm sorry,
you,
I can't hear you.
it says, Susie, that you and Dandy met with the potential grant writer. Do we have a grant writer?
Yes, her name is Hilda Roselli. She has provided a proposal. We talked to her about what she sees are opportunities for Jervis in terms of growth. She's got a copy of our goals, our budget, and also she's got a copy of the school district's strategic plan and budget. She is planning to be at the joint meeting, March 7th, between the school district and city council to discuss. I was gonna share this in my report, but I'll just share it now. She's also bringing along Mayor John McCardle from the City of Independence to talk about the value of community partnerships. So we thought that that would be a good starting point for the meeting.
Gosh, I sure wish that we would have gotten more dates like I asked for a couple of times other than like April 7th. That was already a meeting. I feel like it is important and I wish that more of us could have been, but we weren't giving any dates to choose from. That kind of off-putting and I hope it goes well and I bring back the information myself. I have medical appointments and have work. If I can't be there, I would have liked to have been.
One coming Monday?
Yeah.
Yeah, I will be there.
Okay, so I'd like to have that information brought back. And in the future, it'd be nice if we could incorporate the whole council and have some of our dates offered. Maybe push a little harder for that so that we can be present. I did ask and was not given anything.
You're not over that? I thought
I know, but I'm just, I'm,
at a council meeting with.
Yeah, we talked about, I remember we
Yeah.
talked about it at a meeting.
the more I think about it, yeah, John, you felt like you should have gotten more
Yeah,
dates.
to me, there just wasn't a lot of dates for that.
There wasn't any. There was March 7th, and then that was it, and I asked for another, and then we came back with the April 7th, which is our meeting day.
So we gotta keep an eye on it in the future, because everybody should be.
Well, we should all have a chance to, and if you don't get dates, that's not very, kind of off-putting. I mean, I'm just expressing my displeasure at, I would have liked to have done that.
The other, I still have
Sorry,
a question. So is the fee that she will charge us gonna be the same?
She hasn't told us her hourly rate, but the council authorized the $5,000 match for her services. And the school district is gonna carry the contract.
So even though they're carrying the contract, didn't we make a resolution giving the 5,000? Did we name the other person? That's what I'm trying to remember. It's just my mind trying to remember, did we name the other lady that didn't come through, that couldn't do it?
I'll go back and check.
But if she did, we need to ratify that, right?
I'll go back and check the.
Okay, that was what's concerning me. I didn't articulate that well last time. We had said that because they were carrying that, we did make a resolution of that. That I have.
Yeah, that's probably good enough.
Okay. So now can I start the Veterans Wall? I'm really excited, you guys.
It's 11 days.
Am I there?
No, you're not.
Oh, budget meeting. Okay, so we need to set a date for a budget committee meeting.
How do you feel about those dates? I'm good with either one.
What are the dates again?
She's got May 12th or May 19th listed.
If that's okay.
Either one of them works for me.
No, May 19th.
Sure.
And we are still looking for a budget committee member.
Was May 19th, the public change.
12th or May 19th.
The time, 6:30.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the 19th.
You good too, John?
The 19th.
At 6:30?
Yeah.
And again, I'm just advertising, we are looking for a budget committee member, we are taking applications, I believe it's for 3 years, is that correct? So if you'd like to fill out an application to be on the committee, it would be nice to have. Someone.
So are we, going to make a motion for that? I move to schedule the Jervis Budget Committee meeting on May 19th at 6:30 PM. A second.
Right, any discussion? Okay, ready for the question? All in favor, say aye.
I,
Guys, have it and the motion carries.
oh, you can talk about that.
That's in fun. So in our packets, Councilman Gonzalez has been, dreaming of a veterans wall. And he told me about it. So I started thinking, how the heck could we make a veterans wall here in Jervis? And he had lots of ideas and things, so I found these brick fundraising places online and started looking into them. And then Laura Clifton and I had a phone meeting with Gary Alfred from Bricks R Us. I met with a couple others, but Bricks R Us is from Florida. They have been in business for over 30 years and they are very reputable that I can tell. We'll of course check that further. But for tonight's presentation, this is getting started guide. If you could flip the screen, please. Next one, the slide. We need to ask ourselves, would Jervis like a veterans wall? You guys out there, would you like a veterans wall? Everybody? And I've reached out on my personal page and I've seen some stuff on your page, Diana. Council, how do you feel about it? Do you think that's something we could shoot for?
Yeah.
Okay. So we need to do some things to figure this out. Where would we build it? Junior, where do you want to build this thing?
Well, first we started looking for a location. We thought we'd put it at Black Walnut City Park. But I talked it over with John. And we're having a little problem with vandalism. That wouldn't, we came up with an idea that wasn't very good. Then we went to the attraction of getting it downtown. I mean, why have it out there in our
There's
backyard?
no parking over there
Yeah.
either.
There's no parking. That we tried, I measured everything over here on the cul-de-sac over of the street.
So where the stage is now, I'll call it the stage center there with the children's tiles, is that what you're
Yeah.
speaking on? Mhm.
And we didn't want to molest the kids. Pictures that they drew on that wall, there's quite a few of them. And some are outstanding, you know, and so we thought about moving it. But nah, that ain't gonna work. It's,
Got rebar through it.
yeah, it'll break. And that's one thing that we didn't want to do. So then I looked at other areas and I thought, well, how about right here in front of the city hall? Right on the other side of the street, 4th Street, where it ends on First. Right there, there's an edge to where we can build it.
There's utilities behind these bushes and rocks already, John.
There's irrigation system
Okay, so if we had like,
and power.
okay, so are the bushes over that? Or are the bushes in the place that aren't over it?
They probably weren't over it when they planted them. But they're probably over them now.
Okay, but if a person put in like a cinder block wall, like a straight up kind of a wall
Mhm.
right there, could it be where you'd still have access there?
We'd be occupying,
How tall you want to go and how long?
Well,
Uh,
height would depend on ordinance, right? Kind of, could we go 6 foot?
I'm sure you could probably go 6 foot.
Okay,
I mean, really with a block, cinder block wall, all you gotta do is pour footing
right.
and your cinder blocks laid on top of that.
Mhm. And then you'd attach these.
And, yeah,
But we thought, well, Junior will go over his design and you can have a look. But the flagpole being right here, the red brick for City Hall, the camera's always on it, right?
Right.
That would be maybe a safe spot, no vandalism,
put
Patriot.
back on vandalism,
Yeah,
there's lighting.
that's what we were kind of thinking for the start of this wall, right? So Junior has some design that we like. See, this is something, this project, you guys, this veterans wall, we kind of want to open it to veterans from all over because Jerks isn't that big, but it would draw attention to our city. Put something on the kiosk, but I'll get to that. But the design would be not just the wall, but you know, 4th of July, we got to rent all this fencing to protect us from the railroad, you know, and we got a current little fence out there. So Junior, I'm gonna have her site change the slide and you go ahead and tell her about for your full design. And it'll be up on the board for you. Can you put that up, Denise? There you go.
That top right-hand corner, that's where it would be.
If you guys want to come up and look a little bit, you can.
One on the left.
Yes, the one on the left. And that second picture from the first one is a picture from aerial. That's how it's gonna curve on that piece of property right across the city hall here. And the wall is gonna be like a little pyramid. On the very top, we're gonna put, I wanted to put 5 flags up there, or 5 designs for every service.
Yeah.
The Marines, the Navy, Air Force, Army, and the Coast Guard. The top part, it's up for discussion if we want to do that. Also, with those black lines that go up, those are gonna be flagpoles. They're gonna have the US flag in the middle. Then probably the veterans. I mean, the veterans flag or the Vietnamese flag. And the first one on to the left would be the Oregon flag. One on the left or the right would be the MIA flag.
So Junior, the design, we know we've got this basic wall, but can you tell them how it would extend out and how we would keep it going through the years? Keep it building?
On this next page right here, up on top, those are the posts on there, and that every time, if we run out of room, if there's 70 blocks up there right now. If we need more, then we'll go along the wall, along the fence, and cover them with
We'd make pillars, right?
yeah.
Castle pillars, you said?
Yeah. We'd make like little pillars like they have in the castles at every post. And they have the veterans' names on there. Same
You could add the face.
Same as the wall.
you don't want this lit at night?
Yes, we're gonna have a light. Hopefully, one big enough to shine pretty good.
I'm thinking of shining one up on the, and having
Like a
a
floodlight.
memorial.
Good.
Will the flags be up full time?
Yes.
You gotta have a light for the flag too.
Yeah. It have to shine at an angle where it'll cover the 4 flags.
And then, John, building down the road here where existing little posts are, if we could build a fence line, I mean, I don't know how tall you could make it, but if he could put his castle pillars as we sold them, because this campaign lasts forever, I'll explain that in a minute, the fundraiser, how we would do it each year. We would be adding bricks and generations of veterans. For years to come, this can be built. So the idea would be to run these pillars at least from that wall down to where the fence is now, if possible, get them in place. So that when we did the brick cells, they could be filling those pillars in. I mean, eventually it could go all the way down, on the other side, if you generations did it. But if you
If you're
create a fence that way.
If you're gonna do that, you might wanna think of a type of design like ODOT does with their sound walls,
Okay.
where the pillars are set, let's say they're 10 feet apart,
Mhm.
and that cement panel slides into those pillars. Because otherwise, if you go with cinder block, you're gonna have to rebar it and support it to where you might have enough support for this one wall, but when you add on to it, now you gotta rebar that next section. But you wanna tie that next section into the existing wall so there's more support. But if you went with that sound wall approach, you could
So
add
you're
the
saying a
pillars.
solid wall, so you were thinking of the pillar and then.
Well, yeah,
something
but if you're gonna
between
put the
those.
bricks on, as you expand, that's gonna be all brick. So
Well,
you,
they're little tiles within the. Did you bring that? Right? Is that the-
Oh, I didn't.
how are they attached?
The mortar. Mortar would be, I talked to my boss and worked at Triplet, and he said cinder block would be the way to do at least the basic wall, but what you're talking about, he did say about the slab.
Mhm. I'm just thinking is future, if you go in and you have so much money to put the columns in,
Mhm.
well, if they're slotted, then you could still come in at a later date and slide another panel in, put more brick up, slide another panel in, put more brick up.
No, you were talking about him? My husband, sorry. He's a rebar guy, so we got the rebar.
Yeah.
My boss is saying I can get scrap rebar, whatever we might need off our jobs. So I'll wait to that too, in a minute, how we can save money. But so maybe you can get with Junior and talk about that a little bit. Do you understand what he was saying? How do you feel about that?
Fine.
Okay. Okay.
Good idea.
Yeah.
We're looking right now. If we have any people around or any people that are masons,
Mhm. Well, I'm gonna get to that in a minute. We got another slide and I'll help you
Yeah.
with that.
it's up on that corner in front of the wall. About, 3 feet back. There'll be another little area, a little
Like you see on the, when you go out in the forest and they're talking about a special place.
yeah, it'll be describing what it is and what it's for.
Below the ground,
Yeah,
slanted, so you can read what it
You
is.
can stand in front of like on that right-hand corner. You stand right in front of it and read it.
So maybe walk John through it. Would that be something
You can come down and see it during the day. It'll be right up front. And I want to build it out a little bit. That, on that corner. See the arch? I want that, so that'll be, where I would want to put, the reading of the,
The plaque that tells
plaque,
about
yeah.
our wall.
what it's for, to have the, brick or plaque with a person's name and,
We'll get to that. We're gonna show them that in a minute. John. And I mean, I'm not trying to rush it, but we gotta
No.
kind of get that. And Tammy, you had something?
So, I think this is a terrific idea. I just do comment. You did mention the Vietnamese flag. if I'm thinking of military, the Korean War, the World War II, all of those different type of military services. There were a great many people in our generation that did the Vietnam, but we still have generations from other wars. So I wasn't clear about why it would be a Vietnamese flag specifically.
The founder of it was fought in Vietnam, was what
So, and
Most-
I-
most-
I-
that was what it was.
Most of the monuments that we've seen have that flag.
Okay, so, and I don't know, I'm just asking, I didn't wanna
No, I think
inadvertently
that's really, I
exclude
had the
any
same
military
question, that's
service
why I-
and years
Maybe
of
also.
the wars. The other is that when I lived in Boise, Idaho, we did something very similar, and it took one day for it to be vandalized. And they ripped off all of the 5 military services, so whatever we do, I just want to make sure that it is stuck on there good, that it can't be put, because they
Right.
came and pried it all off in one day. So I just want to be really careful however we do construct it and put it together, that we keep that in mind, that we make it as anti-theft as possible. So we don't have it ruined the day we put it up.
Yeah, and there's cameras, that's why the location is perfect, because this.
That's
thing
why
is
it's in front of the city hall
But I
and
mean,
police
yeah,
department.
yeah, so Denise, can you flip that next screen? So I'm just gonna briefly, so we've decided that, yeah, we'd probably like to do this. Cost of project, we'd like to get 3 estimates from masonry contractors or, contractors in general. Ways to cut the cost, when I was talking to Gary, when Laura and I spoke to him, Bricks R Us has a lot of free services and tools that they get. The only thing they charge for is the brick. And the ones that we were talking about are $19 a piece. But they'll build us a website for a campaign. They'll give us a storefront. It'll have a option to pay. You can pay it. The money will come to the city. The city, when we order the bricks, will disperse the money. We'll have to keep a budget for it. Donated materials and labor was another thing that he said a lot of places do. And that would be, like my husband, I'm volunteering him. If there's rebar to be placed, he's gonna put it in. If we can let him do that, that's no money down. As far as having rebar, I don't know if we can get 3 bar, but I was promised by my boss, if I could get 4 and 5 on demos and other jobs, he would let me start collecting it. If we needed it, collecting materials. We have a lot of contractors here in town, landscapers, and, people can get tax write-offs. Nikki's not here tonight, but I'm gonna task her with calling people. Vested volunteers, veterans, they're the best volunteers you can get as far as, they could be masons, they could be, people that have the knowledge in doing this. We have a big community here, and I think outreach, but seeing about having some of the work done by the community itself would help. So if you could change screens. Okay, then we would need to start the brick campaign, but to do that, like I said, we need the website. And we would have to advertise, which advertising, we can share the link from the website that's absolutely free to us from Bricks R Us. And with that, we get templates for order forms, whatever we might need. And on the order forms, they have the kind of, layout and stuff on it. But you want to advertise your links on all your social media pages, like the Hubbard page, the Jervis Neighbor page, your personal pages. And I think Mickey was talking about going to the Marines. You could go to the VFWs as well. It's going to be word of mouth, but also like a tabletop at our 4th of July event, selling these bricks. Myself, I think, was it 5 or 6 I want. We would have to determine the cost of the brick, which will come into play with, it goes anywhere from $50 to $200 a brick. In this community, I believe it would be closer to 50 if we could keep it. But the only way we're going to be able to do that, you guys, is by finding this work and materials. If we can get some of it donated, would be my guess, even with the $31 profit per brick. These are just some of the things we need to think of, but my question is, are we doing this through a committee, or are we as a council going to do it? Do I have volunteers that would want to be part of the committee to help us get this going? Ms. questions or do you?
I think a committee is probably ideal,
Mhm.
and I volunteer to be part of that.
You know what, Tim, that would be great. I think that would be something that we need to do. So I will be looking and advertising for people that would be willing to volunteer, and then we'll just appoint an ad hoc then. And maybe couple it with that. I have a great team of people here in Jervis, or we have a great team of people here in Jervis. It's quite large. It's getting bigger every day for the 4th of July, basketball, skate park, and they're willing to do more because these things aren't continual. And it's nice having just one meeting a month. But yeah, we would need someone, Pam, that is on council to be there, and I can't always be, so maybe you and Junior. So that would be kind of where we go, but also I wanted to ask about money. If we do a fence line with this, my thoughts were, we couldn't use that money for a park on some of this money that we've gotten. I can't remember what it's called, but if it was to be an improvement for the city, could we not use some of it?
Which money?
Yeah, the ARPA, I guess, though.
Is that what the money is, like the big chunk of money that we haven't decided what we're
Doing
doing with
that?
it?
There's certain categories. I don't know if this would fit one of those categories.
Well, we need a fence for that railroad that's dangerous. I mean, if that, could we look into that and see if maybe that's something we could use a little bit for? That way we could get the whole street made, like John's saying, with that wall. Maybe we could do that part of it with that, and the brick company could, you know, this goes on forever. It doesn't die. Each year, what you would do is have a campaign to sell more bricks once a year or something after it gets initialized. And now we put money back into that fund. Is that something we could look at, you guys?
It's something that we're started.
Yes, go ahead.
So I guess what we need to know is what categories we can use that money for.
Yeah.
We need to know that.
Yeah, so we can start planning our future for our city, right?
That would cover.
So we can get
All
that
of that.
information, that would be nice.
Is that a question for me?
Yes. I'm sorry. I thought it was.
The categories are public health and safety, premium pay for employers, water and sewer infrastructure projects, and get the last one. I think it has something to do with childcare facilities.
Yeah, that'd be child safety. I guess. I'm stretching. Okay. Well, that being said, you know, there's been some talk about partnering with the school and businesses and this and that coming down here to 4th Street. You know what's wrong with 4th Street? I'm being blunt, is it's old, the buildings are ugly. And if we did get some stuff put in here, wouldn't this be ideal for foot traffic that we do not have to support some businesses? And that's why they've always failed here. It took a long time. And the reason the businesses do not work here is not just the ugly buildings, because we don't have the traffic for it. But this would help, you know, a veterans wall, that would help bring people into our city. Maybe think about that. Rocky, you can have something to say on it.
I got something, that'll go perfect with your design. I help out, I did the cleanup at the memorial wall. And that's something really small, and it'll bring the traffic, and it has a flags around it. And then these are the bricks with all the soldiers, it has bark around it, has benches where people can come and sit. And that's your answer to your problem. It's simple, and it has all the military branches logos on the brick. It's small, it's inexpensive, and I believe since you guys are more of a bigger community that support the veterans, more so than Hubbard, I believe this kind of format and with some lights, that definitely, this is your answer to your prayer, and this will get your foot traffic that you want right here.
Thank you, Rocky. So we're gonna be opening that up, Rocky, you can cover those meetings are open to the public, okay? Give your ideas there. Okay. So that's just kind of what we were after tonight, is to see if there was some interest. I'll put it out, we're looking for people. And, see if I can get that out started. So, what do you think? Yeah.
John needs any help moving those bushes or cutting them down, I'd be be willing to come down here and give you a hand.
Well, that'll be part of it too, because the trees that were along that existing strip. Depending on if you wanted to put a wall sitting on a footing, well, then the trees are all gonna have to go. And probably the bushes behind it, so you have enough room behind the sidewalks, to not right up on top of the sidewalk.
Sure.
So it's
That's-
going to be a major renovation, of course, as
Yeah,
far as the
that's what I was
The wall-
thinking.
The wall's gonna be about 18 foot long, which is,
phase one will be 18.
I mean, not,
Yes.
it's got 18 bricks and the bricks are six by 4,
Something like that,
6x4, 2.5.
Yeah, well, you'd need to do the measurements, but John, if you could kind of look at that with
Yeah.
Junior, and maybe bring a little bit back.
I measured it.
What the committee would be doing is designing the brick, I'd like, it needs to be uniform, we need to pick the lettering, things like that, getting the fine detail, getting, estimates for the mason. But we need to, get it. The fine tuning would be the committee, I think, getting those details, but the structural stuff would be, we could use your help on that, John. Yeah. We'll work with John then. Okay. That's kind of what we were after tonight.
Roger,
I hope it happens.
I'll talk to you after the meeting.
I need to correct myself. I said childcare facilities, but it's actually revenue replacement is the last category.
Well, let's hope for that safety thing. Okay, we'll try to figure that out. Wordsmith it real well.
We just want to get this ball rolling.
Junior wants it up by November.
Hopefully 4th of July, but we might be talking about November 11th. Veterans
If
Day.
we're gonna use 4th of July to sell bricks. it's
We're
probably
gonna
not
start, if we can get the
Right.
committee together, if we get them together by next month, I'm gonna tell you, by me, I should be feeling better. I will knock it out of the park as far as meetings. And we'll get that, the website takes 2 weeks. If we want it in 72 hours at $60, but we don't need it. If within 2 weeks, we can have the campaign website up. And the links being shared and the bricks being sold. But in that meantime, we should first figure out what we need to charge. Now is gonna be where John comes in. So
We
that
need to know how
means
much it's gonna
that's where the
cost us.
time is. John is really need to know, when you get, you're busy, but if we can get that stuff laid out, get our estimates from people. That would be great. That, from there, it can take off. It won't take any time at all.
I'll pull the maps tomorrow and see what's in the ground.
Okay, thank you. And that way, like I say, our part of it, selling it, I'm not nervous about that at all. I get excited about doing stuff like that. That's something else.
I mean, what we have downtown right now is nothing to brag about.
No,
So
there's no
maybe-
foot traffic and no business is gonna survive here. I don't care what you do, if you don't start bringing in people and start remodeling. These buildings are condemned and they need to be. I'm sorry, I love history and everything. And if they would use the faces again, that would be so nice, but we gotta do something to bring people in. and
But we
don't
had,
sit in the wall.
we had three grocery store here, except one. We had a meat market. We had 1, 2, 3 gas stations.
The thing is, Junior, you're competing with other people
Yeah.
around you like Walmart.
Sawmill right across on the other side of the track.
People are gonna go where the right now, the economy is terrible, so gotta be smart in everything you do. So it works for a while, but it should recover, right?
John remembers we used to sit there and watch those logs hit that pond.
Remember that one guy, I don't know.
If it's
God,
dirty,
but
we can
Didn't
sell.
didn't they ride him out of here on a rail?
All right, fellas, let's get back to the meeting, I gotta say, okay, all right, so. Where am I? I'm so tired. Staff reports, we'll start with the city manager. Cindy.
Okay, I provided my written report in the packet. Does anybody have any questions about that? I already talked about the joint meeting. Couple extra notes I'd like to add. I was contacted by a student at Jervis High School, and he was asking if their art class could display a couple of art pieces a month in our lobby. So I told him that that would be fine. It would be a very positive display of support and partnership for our students here in town. So we'll start working on that. A few of you have been in contact with me about having trouble accessing your emails remotely. Mayor, did you get a hold of?
You know what, I've been so slammed at work, Susan, and I've had so many appointments.
I know Diana is having the same issues and Pam's contacted me, so I'm trying to work through it with Woodburn IT. I don't have an answer on it yet, but be patient. I would also like to address the public comment that Ms. Clifton brought up about the resolutions, the water, I won't say water rate increases, is utility rate increases. In 2019, the council did pass 3 resolutions to institute utility rates. And we went over this last month, if you'll recall. The resolution for the water increase called for a 2.75% increase each year for 5 years when we would look at it again. The storm and sewer increases called for an increase in accordance with the CPI from the previous year. So for this year, I used the December 2021 CPI number, which was the 6.5%, which is current. I just wanted to state that for the record.
What is that 2035? Is that what you said, Laura? I'm sorry. You said 5 years and it was then when, Susie? 2019? That should be 2020. Where does that say 2035? Is that what you said?
Yes,
Okay.
whereas
Not to, I just am trying to be clear here.
water rates will continue to increase by 2.75 annually through the year 2035. And whereas the base consumption for residential use will be reset to 1,000 cubic feet of water, and whereas the water service connection fee will also be adjusted and is included in the water rate schedule.
So where did the 5 year thing come in there then? I mean, if that's the resolution, isn't that what it said in stone? Or we can change it, I mean, but.
Yes, it does. I'm sorry. I must have, we've increased water rates a couple of times since I've been here. So I might have been thinking of a different resolution, but it does say 2035.
This is maybe something we need to look at tonight. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. Okay, so, I'm sorry.
And that's my report.
Okay, thank you, Susie, and then we'll go on to the chief.
By my written report, and Don's got some fun stuff to show you tonight, so I'll just,
Okay.
pass
Thank you.
the time to him.
All right. Okay, John, go ahead.
Pretty much, well, we signed, the contract was signed to start, restore the tree farm. And we've got 2 videos with a drone to show you the progress they're making. So I think the first one, sorry, no popcorn.
When they bring that up, are you gonna talk about the damage on the gate? Because I'm trying to figure out how that got damaged.
Pardon?
The damage, due to the damage on the east gate. I don't know how did it get damaged?
Well, it was basically the farmer's fence. And when they were harvesting hay last year, it dropped one of those big giant bales and it fell on the fence and blackberry, but it pulled their fence post and it's just wood.
Got it.
So when we redid the water, okay, here we go. This is over by the third lagoon. This is zones 1, 2. I'm sorry, 3, 4, and 5. This is looking to the east. They're basically taking it, they brought in small skid steers because of the instability of the ground. So they cut them in place and then drag them and they're staging them on the perimeter of the tree farm. Once they're staged, then they'll bring in log trucks, load them up and remove them. Whatever's left will be, debris wise, will be chipped and spread out within the tree farm and then tilled back into the soil.
We did made a lot of progress, actually, haven't we?
Yeah, this is from a week ago. And they've already cut down zones 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and they're starting on zone 8, which is to the east of the tree farm, and working their way that way. And hopefully with dry weather this next week, they could tentatively be done cutting trees down by the end of the week, as
Nice.
fast as they're moving.
Sorry, guys.
This one starts from City Hall and heads north.
Don, I'm trying to share it.
Hey, thanks for the stop sign going up too, by the way. I wanted to tell you in person.
Back and turn so everybody can see. I don't know, it's pretty hard to manipulate it.
Wait, they'll give Denise a chance.
Yeah, it's actually on wheels. I think it's. Yeah, in fact,
I'm waiting for it to get done.
You're good.
Good?
Thank you, yes.
There you go.
There, that's better.
Yeah, we can still see it. Perfect.
No, you'll never get out.
You know, Denise could work it from there, could you, if we put you on the other side even? That would be perfect for our, we get a lot of people.
So what's coming up first, the lagoons number 1 and number 2. That's where the influent comes in from the city sewer system. Pond number 1 is the primary treatment lagoon. Number 2 is a secondary treatment. And into the north of that is lagoon number 3, which is a finishing pond, but it also has treatment too. So what's coming up is zone 10. And the tree farm has 10 zones. There's 2 different valve stations that control each 5 zones.
Is that our drone?
Pardon?
Is that our drone?
No, it's Kyle's drone.
I have one coming.
But you can see how the ice storm just decimated the trees.
So this is before they started doing anything?
Yes,
Okay.
the zones you're looking at now is just from the ice storm. Then once they get that little green area that goes horizontally across the screen, on the other side is the section that they've harvested.
How long do they anticipate it'll take to harvest?
Everything's supposed to be operational and back and done by July 1.
I was noticing this week, driving by on Butteville, you can definitely
Yes.
see the difference.
In that upper left-hand corner, that's lagoon number 3. The 2 small buildings there are the discharge buildings. One building's for discharging to the Pudding River and the other one's for the irrigation.
There's a shooting range.
Hmm?
Over the shooting range.
Really, the drone view really
Out to the
shows the
north, yeah.
damage.
What's
Really,
left of it.
really bad.
In that center area, that's a secondary storm drain ditch technically for the city. They'll basically come through and do a surface grind where the trees, the stumps were, and then after that's done, they'll come back with a subterranean grind. You go about 12 to 14 inches into the soil. That'll get rid of all the old stumps.
And then we have somebody coming in to replant them.
That's part of the contract.
Okay.
They'll replant the trees and relay a new irrigation system, to replace what was destroyed, because there was no way to
So
really
I'll be done
harvest
by
it.
July 1 then.
Hmm?
They're saying by July 1 we'll be up and running.
No, they'll have 3 zones up by May 1,
Oh, okay.
and then the rest of it should be done by July.
Yes.
So it'll be fully operational.
Good job, John.
Where's the diving board?
It's right there off the dock. We had to take it down. It just gives you an idea what devastation that storm did.
Really excellent.
I
with the
can't believe
drone.
when we went out there right after how bad.
Can we
it was.
maybe put this up on like the city Facebook page or the website or something, just for the public to, so we can point to it and show them what they, the damage that got done and what we've been working on?
Or we could do still photos.
Yeah, something.
That's a beyond my pay grade though. Not that techy,
I'm just looking at it going, I
Yeah, the
think other
videos.
people would.
but I'm sure we could put photos up there.
I just think that, you know, people might appreciate seeing the
Yeah,
drone footage.
Just cut the video down to like 20 seconds so they get a
Yeah.
view of it. It's not.
he's got some stills.
We're getting this everything, our company, but not one, we little from where we're at over there to Woodland High School. Good job. That's my fun.
How big is that one? Do they put in the thing? They plant-
How big?
Like, yeah, how big do they?
They're just sticks, about a 1/4 inch in diameter,
Oh, wow.
and they're about 3 to 4 feet tall, and they just go by there and shove them in the ground. They're just a weed. It's just a
That's
weed tree.
crazy.
But they absorb the water and the nutrients out of the soil.
It don't take them long to get up there.
No, yeah, 1 minute they're short, and the next minute,
Mm-hmm.
they grow pretty fast. That growth there was planted in 2012. And before that, it was 2001. So they got about a 10-year life cycle before they have to be cut down again.
Cool, that's very cool. Thank you, John.
And that's all I have.
The stop sign too, the cars are actually stopping now.
Good.
It's a lot better off. I noticed it right away, that, but I said I want to tell you in person. Well, everybody? Okay, business from the mayor and council. Nothing, so, Does anybody have anything? Very good, I'm good. Okay, well, that being said, it's 8:22, meeting's adjourned. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
If you gotta get, you gotta have one of these days.
Sounds good.